Many of you would have heard of the Royal Singapore, a platform that celebrates the lives of ordinary Singaporeans whom they have interesting stories as well as inspiring ones. But do you know that the production of these videos were actually by a man called Mr. Tham Why Keen, whom was the creative director of the Royal Singapore until recently. But who is Wai Kin? Why did he do what he did at the Royal Singapore? How does he make life decisions first before making financial decisions? Today at the Providend Conversation, Living the Good Life, we are very happy to have the opportunity to speak with Wai Kin. So, Wai Kin, thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. I know you don't have to do this, but I'm really appreciative of you doing this for us. And it's very interesting because, many moons ago, you were actually interviewing me.
Yes,
okay, so
yes.
now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so I want to first talk about the Royal Singapore,
Yeah.
a platform that you were so involved with, and you spend a considerable amount of time with this company. Maybe you want to start by telling us about, what is the Royal Singapore? What was it all about?
So we celebrate average Singaporeans' lives, but every single video we try to find a positive value to share. So I think the main purpose behind this is we feel that social media is flooded with a lot of negativity. So we wanted a little space where you celebrate the average and you also celebrate positive values, like good vibes, the spirit of giving and things like that.
How many episodes did you create?
Wow.
How long has it been, by the way? Like 2 years, 3 years? The Royal
I
Singapore?
think altogether 2 years. Initially we were a service provider for the company, but eventually we joined the company as a team.
When you say we, your business?
Yep, my business.
Okay.
Yep.
So you had a business and you actually provided the service for the Royal Singapore, but eventually you sort of like merged with them.
Correct.
And you did all the shows, right?
Yeah.
How many episodes did you
So not me personally, of course. I have a team.
Right. Yeah.
How many shows I have not counted?
A few hundreds?
I don't know. At one point in time we were doing, so if we calculate about 4 a week, that's 2 years of 52 times.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's probably a few hundred.
About a few hundred, 100 plus, 200. Yeah.
How was it received, all these videos that you made?
So I'll be honest, initially it was difficult to get the traction because we were thinking how many people actually want to have this kind of stories. It's quite boring. Honestly, for Facebook it was quite long. The longest was 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Shortest was about 5 minutes.
Right.
So in this kind of very quick world, everyone wants fast entertainment, right?
Yeah.
We were not sure.
2-3 minutes, people they don't want to watch.
Yeah, in
anymore.
fact, TikTok is less than 1 minute.
Okay.
So surprisingly, I think it gained traction, and then there started to be more responses to what they were watching.
Right.
And then we started to create a community. Like we collected a community of like-minded people who believe in what we were doing.
Right. How many followers do you remember?
So now it's about 450,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, but initially when we first started, we already had 300 plus.
Right.
Yeah.
I noticed the comments, right? I mean, out in the social media world, most times you get people that say bad things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I noticed that in the comments section of all your videos, you hardly, I mean, of course, there
are trolls.
Yeah, 1 or 2 outliers, right? For sure. But I noticed that most of the comments are actually very encouraging, very good comments. I mean, how do you all get there? Do you know?
I don't know. It's just a natural thing, I guess. But honestly, this is a trick when it comes to social media. During the first half an hour, you have to really monitor what's going on, the comments. Because we were quite worried. I don't know whether if you know the past of TRS.
Yes.
Okay, I think we won't mention for this, but we have a community which really were anti-government, didn't really like what the government was doing. So we were quite nervous when it comes to racial things, religious, we were a bit scared. So within the first half an hour, our team will actively monitor. Anything that crosses the line, we will hide.
Okay.
so that the person who comment will not see that it's hidden.
It doesn't build on as well.
So that other viewers, when they see this, they don't let that
influence them. I see. Okay, that's a good point.
So after half an hour, it's okay. You can just let it go already.
Right.
Yeah. So that tends to be the
I did notice you all use a very tricky name, TRS.
Yes.
But that's not the real Singapore. It's the Royal Singaporean.
It was a brand change. So that was actually a
okay, great. Thanks for sharing. But I also know that, sadly, you just left TRS very recently. Maybe share with us, you have done so much good work, TRS. I've watched the videos, even though some can be long, yes, but they are very moving. I think it has encouraged many Singaporeans. So you've done a lot of good work there. So why did you leave TRS?
I think it's a mix of finding the monetization took a bit to get to, but also because of creative differences. So with the management, just different in
opinions.
And I also think that it's about time that I move on to other things. It has been fun. It's something that I enjoy doing, and having something positive and then giving some value to society at the same time earning income for family. It was really a dream.
But I really think that you have done a great job, because I've enjoyed every episode that you have created. I think I must have watched, I can't say I've watched every, but I believe I've watched the majority of these episodes that you have created, and I am very sure it has touched many Singaporeans' lives.
Thank you.
So, I also know through our previous conversations that you have gone into business several times. But a lot of these business that you have gone into, they didn't really work out the way that you expected it to work out. Maybe tell us a little bit about some of these business that you have gone into, and how do you feel? I'm a business owner, right? So I know a lot of effort has gone into producing the baby, from idea to finally starting it. But then when it doesn't work out, it can be very discouraging. And painful. Definitely painful. So maybe tell us a bit about some of these business that you have started, and how do you feel?
So I think I maybe share a little bit about what I started with. In the first place, I was highly influenced by books that I've read. That because I grew up in a middle income family, so my understanding of business, my understanding of money may not be, I won't use good or bad but I was aware that there's a different world out there, that the wealthy has play by different rules, and they understand the game better. So I first started out by just picking something that I can do well, and trying to build a system around it, trying to build a brand and those things. So hindsight is 2020. So now looking back, every single thing was a process. Every single thing was a learning experience for me to become who I am today. But of course, as they came about, the pain is definitely there. Each time you walk away from a bad deal, walk away from a relationship like that, is never good.
So you mentioned something that you said that, to focus on things that you are good at. Maybe elaborate a little bit about that. What do you think are the things that you are good at that started you on this business journey?
I think I've always been very weird for me to say this, creative. I think I've been a creative all my life. So as a kid, when I was 12, when I was 13, I was writing poetry. I was drawing, I was making music. And one thing that I picked up back then, I think Sec 3 or Sec 4, I picked up my first video camera and I started filming. And then I realized that this comes quite naturally to me. Of course, the creative process is about copying, right? So I remembered going into this video production for my team, because I was outgoing school captain of sports in school. That I wanted to do a documentary of our final year. I was very proud of my team. But I remember thinking in terms of scenes. So I had the language of scenes that I wanted to take, and I collected those scenes, which was the beginning of a process of storytelling using video. So I didn't know it back then, and I went the practical route, went to get a degree and all these things, and then my first job was as a programmer. But this thing was always in the back of my head. I have this passion. Yeah, I wanted to do this thing if I could.
Right.
Yeah.
And so your first business was in a way related to this gifting or this skill set that you had.
Yep.
So tell us a bit more. What did you first do, and all that, the businesses that you were involved in?
So the first thing was a wedding video company. Yeah. And then it was with partners back then. And my partners back then were the videographers of my best friend's wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was a turning point for me because I was working for a few years already. And there was some crossroads there. It was a crossroads then. But at the same time, I had a positive example of someone who can support his family with this skill. Like create videos for a living. He is working with his wife, and they're in the same company, same business, and they had two kids, 2 girls. So I was thinking, because the practical side of me, because of my parents' upbringing, it is like very hard. Art. How do you
make money?
How do you make money? Right? How do you survive?
Yeah.
So I had a positive example. So I was still quite young. So I thought, okay just give it a try Yeah.
How long did you do that business for?
So that was, I think, 7 or 8 years.
Wow, that's a long time actually.
Yeah. Right.
And it was doing well.
I would say that it was doing well for the first half.
So about 3 over years it was doing very well. Okay.
Yeah. Then after that it was surviving. Then the final year we were struggling really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, what happened from that business?
So after that, again, not a very positive end. So I was hitting the ground running. So I was left with very little to start again. And I quickly came out with another brand called Red String Video Corp. And this one was focusing more on corporate storytelling.
Okay. When you say you have very little, do you mean monetarily, financially, you have very little?
Yes.
Did the people that you started with leave you and then you're going to do it again on your own?
So they were majority owners of the company.
Okay.
So I didn't have the brand. So what they did was they buy me out. So they gave me a bit of cash based on the assets.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how long did you do that second business?
So about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out as well.
So that it was growing. So 2019 I was very happy. End of 2019 we had our first office. I had 3 staff working with me. And then the business was coming in. So I was estimating that we should be able to grow. It may be a bit tight, but that it's positive. Then COVID-19 hit.
Okay.
So I was stuck with an office and I had to find a way for my staff and I to still survive. That was why we merged with this company and then started TRS. Yeah.
So that must have felt horrible because without COVID, there is a huge opportunity for you actually to do very well. Without COVID.
Yeah.
So, thanks for sharing that story. And I don't know. It must have been financially very difficult, especially when the business is not coming in, right?
Correct.
So how did you feel? When you look back this journey, right, of starting, I wouldn't say it's failing, but it did not work out the way that you wanted it to be. How do you feel personally?
I honestly, up until recently, in fact, up until mid of last year, I realized that I didn't have time to feel anything. So I've been running until last year when it started to take a toll on me. My wife was telling me I look older. In that 1 year, I actually look
really
much older. Yeah.
Really.
So I didn't really have time to feel. So it's always about surviving, doing what's best for the team as well as for the family. Yeah.
I know you have a very supportive wife.
Yeah.
She has been not just supporting you in spirit, but she has been supporting the family financially while she allows you to do what you want to do and pursue your dreams, right?
Yep.
So how do you think your wife felt? Each time you try, there's an expectation of success, but then it didn't work out, and then you have to do it again, and she has to bear that burden.
I think it's definitely, on my part, I'm very grateful. It's a safety net. So I'll be glad to say that we didn't really have to eat into her savings too much.
Okay.
But so definitely having that safety net is good. And I think because she shared the same background as me, the same influences when we were studying, so we agreed, both of us, that okay, just working for the rest of your life may not be the ideal thing, that we didn't really want that. So we just decided that I'll be the one that goes and try this out.
So she never complain, okay, well, I can't ask that because we all complain at some point, right? Yeah, but I would say generally, has she ever said to you hey, Wai Kin, just give it up give it up. Let's be real. Let's go back to work, all that.
Not to that extent, but she did ask me, until when? When can I decide? When will I decide to exit? Yeah, so this thing has really been on my mind for a while. My plan was initially to see how it goes by 40, and now I'm past 40 already. And
just slightly.
Yeah, correct lah. You're saying I'm still quite young. Definitely, I do feel the urgency, because I know that by the time we're 45, everything will start to be harder to get jobs, harder to get a loan from the bank and things like that. It's another marker now. So everything that I'm doing right now, has consequences. Yeah.
So Wai Kin, I know, before you went into business, you actually worked for someone else, right? As a full-time employee for about 3 years.
Yep.
But then, after that, you got tired of it, something triggered, and then you decide to leave, right? So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yep. So there were some push and pull factors there. I actually graduated from the School of Computing, NUS. So I was a software engineer for the 2.5 years for a big company, local company, and working in defense projects. So the push factors was a change in management. So we had a whole team of fresh grads working on a project for a while. So secret, I cannot say what project. But because
you can tell me about, after you tell me, you're going to kill me.
Yeah, I don't know whether it still holds. Yeah, so because of a change in management, the manager basically just allowed all the changes for their clients. So it became like the 2.5 years of work that we worked on was obsolete. Was suddenly said, okay, we have to redo everything.
All down in the drain.
Yeah, all down the drain. So my entire team was so demoralized that all of us were thinking, just leave her. Because it was like changing so fast, It's those kind of leaders that every single week, clients say this thing, okay, can, I think can, then come back and change again, that kind of thing. Very hard to work with these kind of people. So that was one of the reasons why I had to leave. But also, I think as I was working there, I realized that the culture wasn't really conducive for someone young like me. Because I had a team leader that was in his 30s.
Early 30s?
Early 30s, yeah.
And you were what, mid-20s?
Yeah, mid-20s.
Just fresh graduate.
25, yeah. So it's about 8 years older than me.
Okay.
Yeah. And he has 2 kids. But his mindset when he's working, really made me scared. In fact, the whole company has this kind of mindset where I felt like I was working with zombies. Because they just turn up for work.
They clock and then they
go. Just clock and they go. No drive, no ambition, that's it. They're just happy to be like that. But at that point in time, I said, okay, worst case, I can still come back. I will just take this as my retirement, worst case. But maybe I'm a bit young for that. Let's try something different. Let's try something. Yeah.
So basically, you don't want to be in a job whereby, okay, you can be paid very, a salary, very stable.
Yeah.
But then nothing drives you.
Yeah.
You're just there for the money.
Correct.
And that doesn't work for you.
That definitely sucked. Yeah.
Okay.
Just to see that.
You want to do something that you are really passionate about, that you believe in.
At least I think the passion didn't come in so
At
fast.
that stage,
I wasn't so idealistic.
Okay.
It was more of just, what's the point? Because partially it's also a practical thing. Looking at the structure of the company, I knew it was very hard to climb up. So even if you talk about a corporate ladder, there's nothing to speak of. That's partially why my team leader had that kind of feeling.
Right.
It was stuck. It's like you're stuck there. Yeah. So I did apply for other companies like Accenture and things like that. I knew that the culture was much faster.
Different, okay.
But I wasn't sure lah. So it was around this time when I met my previous partners, and then I thought, okay lah, let's try lah. Since I have this talent, this skill, let's try lah. Let's see whether I can make something of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I read this on your LinkedIn page. I don't know whether I'm sure you've read it lah. Okay. I'm just repeating it for you.
Okay.
Okay. So these are people whom they have worked with you before.
Okay.
And they wrote this about you lah.
Okay.
Okay. So let me read them. So there are too many things to say about Wai Kin, and he is someone I will always be grateful towards for. Wai Kin is nothing but a talented creative director and dedicated mentor. His many years of experience and passion towards his craft enables him to earn respect from many as he goes the extra mile to make sure quality work is produced for his clients despite tight deadlines and last-minute changes. I am thankful to be able to have worked with him, and I sincerely hope that we have more opportunities to work together in the future. One more.
Okay.
Okay, Wai Kin is a multi-talented creative director who's more than qualified for his role. He has many years of experience in the creative field, working with different equipment and talents. He constantly strives to provide the best for everyone, from his family to his clients and his employees. He has taught me many things, even apart from work, and I'll forever cherish the many conversations that we shared together. So these are people whom they have worked with you.
Yep.
The two things that stand out for me is that they all recognize your talent, your skill set, your gifting. Okay, that's one part. Okay, that's very clear. But the other part is the person that you are. Right? The people, they have great respect for you, and almost all said that they wish that they will have a chance to continue working with you.
Yep.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
Wow, hearing this, I feel I have tears coming out. Yeah. I think I'm stubborn lah. So I think a lot of times, these are the values that I put into the business, the recent business, the Red String, right? Because of what happened to me previously. So I basically doubled down, because previously I ended with nothing, like almost nothing, so no relationship, nothing. And then I have this strong belief in empathy. I have this belief in going the extra mile. So I teach my team that when it comes to empathy, it means that between every single relationship, whether it's in the team, it's with outside, your clients, your sponsors, or I mean even with leaders or the company, you always understand what the purpose of doing something is, and then within your means, we go the extra mile for them. So I'm very happy that this thing, appear a few times. I go the extra mile, because I try my best to live this thing so that my team can follow. Yeah, so I'm happy that it worked out. Yeah, and they remember this thing lah.
Yeah, so I guess in your work over the last decade, it's almost a decade or more. It's a long time.
Yeah.
It's not just your production that has impacted the world, even though the world is Singapore, that's our world, right? But your production has impacted the lives of many people whom has watched your work. I'm one of them. I'm one of the greatest beneficiaries of your work, because it oftentimes inspires me for the work that I'm doing. But in the process of creating those works, you have also inspired the people who work with you. I think that makes it worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, even though the money may not be great, but the impact that you have made to the world, people around you and the world at large has been great, and you should really feel very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
For these 10 years of journey.
Thank you.
So you are obviously very good at what you are doing. Yeah, from the people.
I don't want to say that, but
you don't want to say it, I'll say it for you. You're obviously very good at what you're doing, because like I said, I've been the beneficiary of your work, right? Because when you talk to us pre-production, you are able to to sort of like tell our story. You are able to tell us, hey, this won't work.
Yeah.
Right? You're able to think of, no, you got to tell the story another way, right? Then
Yeah.
it will work. Right?
Yeah.
So you're obviously very good at what you do. So why not just go back to the corporate world, Wai Kin? Join a big company, a production house, and get paid. You don't have to worry about the business aspect, and just get paid well.
I have thought of that. That definitely crossed my mind. But I think I have a few more years left. I want to try it out again. Yeah. So it's always this thing about growing, scaling what I'm able to do, because at a job, I'm only able to change my time for money. 1 hour of my time for how much money, right? So business is one of the things that there is a possibility, not to say that it happens. At the very most basic is same thing, change time for money again. But when you grow a team and the team is effective, is efficient, and they have the same skills as you, that's when you can actually start to scale and you start to see some long run benefits. So even though I've tried and didn't work out, tried and didn't work out again, I will still want to continue. Yeah, just to give it a try again.
So you have left TRS, so what's next?
So I am going to be joining my friend's company. It's a brand agency called Brand Call. So for at least 1 year, for half a year to 1 year. And in the meantime, to assess, to see whether this is something I want to do in the long run, or whether there's any other product or any other services that can make use of my abilities, that somehow can leverage and that I'm able to scale. So currently I think I'm a bit tired, honestly, a bit drained. I said I didn't have time to feel, I didn't have time to think. So I will need to take a bit of time to assess what I've learned over the past few years, and then choose my direction from then on.
So you have always been making what I call life decisions first.
Yeah.
And life decisions are decisions that has got to do with values, purpose, passion. What do I live for? You have always been making decisions based on these things. You didn't think very much about the financial aspect, right? I
do. It's always there. It's just that everything is an opportunity cost. So I constantly remind myself that every single decision I make, I am forgoing something else. So I better make sure that I make use of my time.
But it seems like, at least for the last 10 years, your opportunity cost is the financial aspect.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You have put that second, and you have, of course, with the support of your wife, you have always been making decisions with regard to, I want to impact the world, I want to do business. Is there a time whereby you say, okay, I'll stop? Is it enough?
The time is close. Yeah, so I think if we look at what I guess you can ask me, like, for example, what is a rosy picture? When do you know that you can, if all things, you can have anything you want, right? I would hope that my finances are settled, as in I have enough residual to support my family, so that I can do anything I want. I will still be doing this.
Okay.
So now the only issue now is I'm already doing what I like. I'm already doing something that I think can give value and blah blah blah. But the finances is lacking. I have not been able to multiply to a point where I can be relatively safe. I know that there's no such thing as 100%, but relatively safe. Yeah, so that's the thing.
I mean, this is the reality of life.
Correct.
And at some point, between chasing after your dream and looking after your family, your decision would be
family. Yeah.
So that family would be the priority over your own dream. And that's the life decision, right, that you have to make. Yeah, I mean, as an entrepreneur myself, I want to encourage you that when you give up not doing business, but you go back to the corporate world to make sure that you earn enough to support your family, that's not a failure.
Yeah.
You are making a different life decision, and it's a responsible decision. It is still making a life decision because that decision is about taking care of your family.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we embrace people for not giving up.
Yeah.
But we look at people who give up sort of like a failure, but I think a lot of people don't realize that it takes a lot more courage to give up.
Yep.
Right? To be humble enough to say that I think it's enough, right? I didn't do as well here, and it's time to stop. And it takes a lot more courage, like,
Yep.
especially for a good reason, which
Yep.
is for family.
Yep.
I just want to end by asking you just one last question.
Yep.
It's a question I ask everyone. Right? In a book that I read called Repacking Your Bags, the author, Richard Leder and David Shapiro, defined the good life as living in the place you belong, with the people you love, doing the right work on purpose. That's their definition of a good life.
Yep.
What do you think? And do you think you are living a good life by that definition?
Definitely. And I feel that all of us, every single one of us, at any point in time, right, should always believe that we are, because I'm a huge practitioner of mindfulness. There's no other way, right? Like wherever I am right now, I have to love it. The fact that I'm actually alive, I'm actually well in this whatever place I'm in, whatever country I'm in, I have to love it. The people around me, I have to love every single person, and not only my family. Like I always try to remind myself, like right now the most important person is you, because you're right in front of me. I want to make sure that your time with me I maximize, so that I don't waste your time, and I cherish this moment we have. And whatever job I'm working at this moment is a choice. Like you were saying, whether I give up on my dream or not. If I go back to the corporate world, I should take ownership of that corporate that job and love it as well in its own way. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks. I just want to say a big thank you, Wai Kin, for taking time out, sharing some parts of your personal lives. It's always not easy to share about, I don't want to use the word failures, but it's not easy to share about a part of our lives whereby it didn't work out the way we expected to be. We all like to hear nice success stories. Like in the work that you do, TRS, some of the stories are not very nice, but they are altogether inspiring. So I just want to thank you for inspiring us, and I hope that you will continue to do work, whether in business or with someone else, work that is true to yourself and work that will continue to inspire the world.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I just want to thank all of us for watching this episode. I hope the story of Wai Kin has in some ways encouraged you and inspired you. If you hear the story of Wai Kin, it's about quality of work. It's about the person that he is. It's about him throughout the last 10 years of his life, making life decisions. And the financial decision part of his life somehow was the opportunity cost. But he's very cognizant of the fact that he needs to take care of the family. And at some point, he might have to then go back to the corporate world, earn a good income to support that life decision, which is to take care of the family. And that in itself is not a failure. That in itself is courage to make a decision not just for himself. It's not a selfish decision, but it's a decision for his family. I do not know, what kind of decisions that you have to make in your life, but I hope definitely it is not just a decision for money. It is a decision whereby it is aligned to your life purpose and your life values. So thank you very much once again for watching.